Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. CLT Aviation 13 here with another 1 to 400 scale airport update of Fort Lauderdale. Today's going to be a really exciting video. I have packed this airport as much as I could with as many JetBlue planes as possible. Well, not literally as much as possible, but as much as the flight schedule would allow it for all the routes. So I hope you stick around for a little bit. A lot of nice paint schemes already from what you can see. And just a full house for today's airport update. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video, and we will get things started on one of the active runways. We'll go ahead and start over with the Alaska 737-800, which is going to make a flight to Seattle. Then we'll make our way to the beginning of the runway, where we have a Southwest 737-800, which is lined up in position for a flight to Nashville. And then we have a Delta A321, which is going to make a flight up to Minneapolis. And then the Silver Airways ATR with nonstop service to Orlando. And then we have the TWA American Heritage 737-800 with service to Dallas. And backing up, we have a United A319 in the new livery with service to Houston. Two JetBlues coming up. First one is a Tartan A320. This is the Velocity Models one, which was a, short-lived brand. Unfortunately, I wish it kind of stuck around. It was just nice to see someone making good planes. This is a great mold. This is the, whose mold is this? Aero Classic. So I love this mold myself. I mean, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it does everything exactly right in terms of proportion size of engines. The landing gears look perfect. So huge fan of the Aero Classic mold. But anyways, this one is heading to Kingston. And again, this is another one of those Velocity models, Blueberries 320. This is going to make a flight to Cancun. And then next up, we have Azul. I think this is the first time I've actually got Azul at the gate. I always either have them coming off the runway or just sitting in that overnight area. So this is heading to Sao Paulo. They don't fly into the main Sao Paulo airport. I'm just going to say Sao Paulo just because I think the airport they operate out of is like 60 miles west of there, Sao Paulo. But just for more familiar, Sao Paulo is just easier to say the name of the place instead of the smaller airport that's outside of the city. Really nice plane though, by the way. I mean, they fly A330-900 Neos, and when things were good, there was 330-200s. I think one of the routes they did to South America was with a 321 Neo, if I'm not mistaken. So really nice to see Azul. So we have a big line to get through here. So there's going to be just a tons of A320s, 321s, and there's one E190 thrown in there. It's a shame Gemini Jets never made more JetBlue E190s. Obviously, I'm biased, but it would have been really nice to see like a barcode, like an actually good barcode. The current one is just inaccurate in terms of its coloring, but Blueberries Embraer 190 would have been great. I can make a list, but won't waste your time with that. 321 Neo with service to Port-au-Prince. And next up we have that, this is that NG Models Prism A321, which is going to make a flight to New York John F. Kennedy. And the New York Jets, the defeated Jets, 320 with service to Seattle. Next up, another A321 Prism Gemini Jet version is going to make a flight to San Francisco. Probably should have had the Blueberry Sharklet go to Seattle because that's a pretty long flight for a 320 from Fort Lauderdale. And flying a wing fence 320 could cause some issues in terms of making the flight in one leg. A lot of times with those western bound transcontinental flights, especially from like Fort Lauderdale, they have to make like a tech stop in, maybe Denver just to get some fuel because they usually can't make it sometimes. So Sharklet, as it's crazy it sounds, but like that small 5% of fuel savings on a long haul flight or, cross country flight really can make a difference. But with that being said, this 320, it's going to make a flight to White Plains. And then Vets in Blue, 320, with service to San Juan. And then we have a high-rise A320, which is going to make a flight to have him go to Washington, D.C. And then here's that lonely E190. Have this guy go to Havana, excuse me. And a couple empty gates, very few empty gates for today. So we're looking at 3 JetBlues, 2 320s, 1 A321. And the 320 is going to make a flight to Cleveland. And then the Red Sox A320 is going to head to LaGuardia. I'm sorry, have him go to, have the 320 go to Atlanta, and then we'll save the 321 Prism to go to LaGuardia. I like that better. Okay, so next up, we have 2 Americans, 2 321 Sharklets. The first one's going to Philadelphia, and then the next one is going to Charlotte. Next up for the video, we will start with the Delta part of the airport. Very packed, as you can see. Lots of Airbuses and a couple 75s. So we'll start on the top here with the A319. The A319 is going to make a flight to Boston. And then the Thank You A321 is going to fly out to New York John F. Kennedy. And then we have the next one going to Salt Lake City. And then scoot on over to the next A321 with service to New York LaGuardia. And then the Winglet 757-200 to Detroit. And the non-Winglet 757 to Atlanta. So no 763s on the schedule for this video. I didn't pick one up on Flight Radar, so try to keep things realistic for the most part. So no 763s today, but still really nice airplanes from Delta. I'm such a sucker for anything Airbus, and you can never, you know, the 757, you can never argue. Those are wonderful to have. Next part, we have Southwest, and there's a few Uniteds we'll get to on the other side of the terminal. But we'll start with the Southwest 737-800, which is heading to Chicago Midway. And then the next one, 738 to Baltimore. And then the Canyon Blue 737 to St. Louis. And then again, like I say every video, one of my personal favorites, the Florida One 737 with service to Atlanta. United 738 to Newark. And then United A320 with service to Washington Dulles. And then next up for the part of the video, we will start with a United 737-800, excuse me. And we'll make our way down on the Spirit end there. So I'll see you on the other side. All right, guys, so here's that United 737-800, which is coming in from Chicago. And then Southwest 737-700 vacating the runway after a flight from Atlanta. And then American 737-800, another Charlotte flight getting loaded up. And then Spirit Airlines A320 with service to Atlantic City. And then Spirit A321, this is the NG model version. The next, you know, the whole bunch, we got 3 more after that are NG, and then the Gemini Jet version. This guy's heading to Atlanta. And then we have an A321 Spirit heading to San Salvador. And then an A321 on pushback for a flight to Boston. And there's that last NG 321 with service to Chicago. Here's the Gemini Jet version. This is my personal favorite between the two. All comes down to that antenna box. I know it's like really silly just to have an antenna box be the deciding factor of my preference. I never actually made a comparison video, but we'll kind of do a quick little look here. The Home of the Bear Fair is actually placed a lot better than the NG one. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at the NG one, it's kind of placed on the bottom of the side of the engine, if that makes sense. This one is like a lot more centered to what it really is. Just a little, you know, this is just some jank comparison right now, but anyways, actually was kind of surprised to see this back on the schedule. I was not under the impression that Fort Lauderdale was flying anytime soon to Charlotte, but apparently it's going to run for a little bit as the recording this video. So we will have this flight operate flight 980 to Charlotte. That's that jank area code for Charlotte. The legit one, or the OG one, is 704. So they didn't do their proper research on flight numbers, because 704 is the OG area code, not 980. That's that jank stuff. So whatever. JetBlue A321neo on pushback for a flight to Boston. And then a couple more JetBlues on this section. We'll start with this high-rise 320 with service to have this guy go to Santo Domingo. And then here's that Prism A321 looking really nice with his brother Azul with service to Los Angeles. And next up we have the Silver Airways ATR, which is going to make a flight to Key West. And I'm going to walk around for these FedEx planes, just because the lighting looks a lot better. Alrighty, FedEx MD-11 with service to Memphis. And then, nice to get this route in. This is a little bit different. It's real. This is a FedEx 757 with service to Greensboro. They do all kinds of stuff out of Fort Lauderdale. I mean, I saw a 752 go to Miami, which it sounds really silly to have a flight, fly 15 miles. But when you think about it, think about all the packages and all the stuff that they're trying to transport between, point A and point B. All that stuff would have to be done via vehicle, right? Like a FedEx ground unit. So using an airplane actually can save a lot of money and cost, depending on certain situations, right? If there's so much to warrant it, then it makes a lot of sense to fly, one plane instead of a whole bunch of trucks and people and all that stuff down there. So when you think about it, it's kind of pretty cool, and it makes a lot of sense. During the holidays, I know UPS does a lot of Charlotte to Columbia, which is Columbia's about maybe an hour and 20 minutes from where I live. Maybe an hour and 30 is more realistic with traffic. But anyways, just kind of cool little plug in there. But yeah, that will conclude today's airport update of Fort Lauderdale. I really hope everyone enjoyed the video. This was probably the most packed I could ever do. Of course, it'd be nice to get a few more spirits just to fill it up even more. In terms of the operation, I couldn't put any more JetBlues than I did today, so I guess I could have put more on the overnight area, but oh well. But anyways, thank you so much for stopping by today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.